friends, welcome back to Graceful Living, and welcome if you're new here today. My name is Dina, and in today's video we are finishing up my spring decor for 2025 here in our living room. Now, as you can see, the hutch behind me is already decorated, and I did that for time because I knew I wasn't going to have enough time to do both sides of the living room in this video, and I knew that this video would be going up the week before Easter, so I thought I better get it all out there. So I will show you around the hutch later on in the video, but for now I want to get started on decorating the rest of the space. Before we do though, I do want to thank each and every one of you for helping us pray for baby August. I will give you an update on him a little bit later in the video, but I just could not go on without saying thank you so much. I did get a message from his grandmother who had watched the video and then looked through the comments and was just so elated to see how many people had taken the time to stop and say a prayer for him, and that are going to continue to pray for him, because that is exactly what we need to do. We need to keep him in our constant thought and prayers, and I hope that you will continue to do that with me. And like I said, I will update you a little bit later in the video, but let's go ahead and get started on decorating. Okay, the first area that I thought we would decorate is this end table right here. And I wanted to touch on it because I get questions on this lamp pretty much every time it comes up in a video. Yes, I did paint it black. The lamp itself was gold with some kind of rust touches in it. And then the lampshade also was a rust color. It was beautiful, but I just thought that the black went better with our aesthetic here in our living room. This did belong to my mom and dad along with the end table. I am looking for new end tables, but it has to be perfect and I haven't found it yet. So I'm sticking with these for now, but I just kind of wanted to answer that question in case someone had it yet again. Let's go ahead and get decorating on it right now. The first thing I am bringing in is my little DIY lamb, my print, and just my box that I use quite often with moss and the moss spheres inside of it. But I thought this was such a cute setup because it makes it look like this little lamb is in the field with the others. It just kind of gives it a 3D effect. So I'm going to set that right here. And then I do have two other little DIY lambs, and I will show you this one up close a little bit, just in case you missed that video. But I thought they came out so cute. So they are just styrofoam balls, and then I did decoupage them really quickly and then added a little bit of that paint and baking soda and kind of pounced to make texture on the top, and then tried to keep the face and the bottom half as smooth as possible. I love these. I love using little lambs this time of year, and I thought these were so cute, especially the gray one. I just thought he was adorable. So I'm gonna set him down as well. It looks like I might have to move this back just a little bit, and I'll set him right over here. Now I thought I would kind of add something over to this side just to bring balance to the table. So I have a couple paperback books that I took the covers off. These are books that I've actually read, but I love using them because of the pages. You know how much I love my book pages. And then I am bringing in a candle that my mother-in-law gifted me a while back. I did take some decorative trim and just wrapped it around the top of the lid, and I thought it was just kind of an added accent, bringing in those more muted colors that I really enjoy. The green is already kind of getting to me. I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love green, it's been a little bit much this year. And I noticed that last year as well. So this just kind of tones things down for me. Just like that, I guess. Then, in keeping with my little lamb theme, I don't know if you remember this little guy, but I found him at my favorite little antique shop. Now, I know that that isn't all antiques at that shop, but it's called an antique mall, so that's why I call it that as well. But it's so cute. I think he's adorable. And so I'm just gonna set him right over here next to the candle. And then we're gonna call that pretty much good. I didn't wanna go overboard this year, and I didn't wanna add a lot of new things, but I do love the addition of these little DIYs. I think they are simply precious, and they really go so well with that print from Hobby Lobby. Now that our first end table is done, I thought, why not come over here and start with the next? So that's exactly what we're going to do. Yet again, this was my mom and dad's lamp and end table, and I'm so thankful that I have them. But yes, it is time for a change. I want to bring in more of my aesthetic now, and I'm doing it slowly, not only to find the right thing, but for emotions as well, because it's really hard to get rid of things when you no longer have the person with you. So that's why they've been here so long, and why they probably will stay just a little bit longer unless something is absolutely perfect. So anyways, let's get started on this. I really love what I brought into this space. It is very neutral, but I love it. So let's go ahead and show you that. Okay, I just noticed that on both end tables, I shifted the lamps over just a little bit. With this side, why I did so is because you could see this is quite heavy. I have a book as a base, and then quite a few books inside this larger cloche. I love this look. It is a favorite right now. I know I use so many books, y'all, but I do love them all year round. I think they bring so much beauty to the space, and it gives me the colors that I truly enjoy looking at each and every day. And I am so neutral. I understand that. Now, I did put a little roll of rolled up book pages with that Dollar Tree twine. That Dollar Tree twine has been worth its weight in gold and then some. But I put that up there because if you remember, we went to an outdoor bookstore for Ronnie's birthday and found quite a few beautiful books for like 50 cents and $1. But unfortunately, they put the price of the books right on top of the pages on the top and on the bottom. So you can't hide it, and it's with a Sharpie, and I've not been able to figure out how to get that off. So I'm just kind of hiding those prices with the rolled books. And I just saw that it shifted, so I may have to get in there again. That is quite heavy, so I'm thankful to have the lamp. It did shift. So I'm going to have to move that around. I'll show you. See, those, I don't know why they did that, but like I said, it's not my bookstore. But by just shifting that roll of pages over just a little bit, you don't see them. And then I think they look so good in that cloche. So let me fix that really quick, and then we'll move on. Okay, I got those put back in place, and I think they make a world of difference. They're just teeny tiny rolled up book pages with that Dollar Tree twine. I'm telling you, it is worth so much, more than $1. I've used it everywhere, but I love the look. Now, if you are looking for a large cloche like that, remember they are at Hobby Lobby. I didn't get this one there, but I've seen them there, and I cannot remember the price offhand, but they're usually located at the back of the store near the doll houses that you can kind of put together. They've got the furniture there and things for that. Well, they have these cloches back there, and I think they're at a pretty good price. So if you're looking for one to kind of mimic this, now I know this is very neutral, but you could always add your color in. So don't be afraid to do that. Just maybe take inspiration from the look, not necessarily the color. Next, I thought this beautiful bust would pair well with the vignette so far. So I'm gonna place her right here. And I also am bringing in 2 of those candles that I found on clearance at Hobby Lobby. These are so pretty. They've got that like ribbed look to them, and I just love them. Now, I don't light these very often. I do like them before I display them. I think they look so much better lit than just kind of sitting there brand new. I know that is just something weird about me, but I'm gonna put them right here, kind of behind her, just getting to the book page colors, and then of course these lighter books. I think it kind of balances that off. And I'm also going to bring in one of those little jars of matches. Now these matches can be found at Walmart by the candles and wax melts. And then this is just a jelly jar that I was gifted from Kathy. It's antique, and I thought that's the perfect size. So I just put them in there and I love it. And I just have a striker. I could hot glue the striker to the bottom, but I just have it in the cabinet close by. So if I ever need it, it's close. I'm just gonna put it right here. Moving on to the other side of the lamp, I have this piece that I purchased at that antique mall. I found it at such a good deal. It was only $10, and I love this piece. It's so pretty to me, and I've seen them since then, but for quite a bit more. Even on Facebook Marketplace, the one that I've seen has been shown upside down, but they want $40 or $50 for it. I can't remember. And so I got it for $10, and I thought that was such a great deal, and I love using it around the house. It's just so pretty. And I'm just going to bring some of my music pages in and simply rolling them up and placing them side by side in there. So I'm going to place those right in here, and then they'll kind of unravel on their own and fill up the space. And the last thing I'm going to bring in is this set of tassels. This was a gift, and I love this pair. I think they are so pretty. Of course, the color is one of my favorites, and then they've just got some beautiful detail. So I thought about wrapping it right around here, making one side a little bit shorter. Just like that. The next place we're going to decorate is right here next to Ronnie's chair. He loves sitting there because he can see the birds out the kitchen window and then also out the slider. But on the ottoman, I went ahead and placed this tapestry that I made years ago. Some of you may have been around when I used to decorate our guest room. And this was something that I made for the wall in there over the bed. And I've not had it there for quite some time. And so I thought I would bring it out, just bringing in those neutral colors. I love the tassels hanging off the edge of the ottoman. And then I'm going to top it off with my mirror, just because Ronnie does sit here quite often, and it gives him a place to place his coffee and his book. And so I like having that there for him. So let's decorate this area as well. The first thing I'm going to bring in is my mirror. I absolutely love using this as what would be a large tray. I've used it here on the ottoman so often. I've used it on our coffee table and dining room table. It just is a beautiful piece. It adds so much reflection and detail to the space, and so I really enjoy using it. I'm going to bring something in right over here on the corner, and I try to keep this area pretty free of any decor so that Ronnie has a space for his book and his coffee or whatever he's drinking. So we'll go ahead and set that up in that way as well. Next, a couple more books just to use as a riser, and I am going to go ahead and face the back of this paperback book towards the front of the display because I love this distressed look. I know it's glue and torn pages, but I think it's so pretty and gives that vintage vibe, so I love using that. So I'm going to place it right here. To place on top of the books, I'm bringing in this beautiful topiary that I found at Kirkland's years ago. I love the color of the urn and the greenery. It is a very plastic feel, but I think the color of it has just kind of elevated the look. So I love using this. I have a tassel that is coming apart that I've just wrapped around the urn to add in more of that grounding dark look that I love so much and I'm needing right now. I feel like my brain is a little overloaded by color, and I know I'm going into a season of color in our home, and so I'm trying to kind of bring things back a little bit for my sake. And when I put a tassel on a table, I usually kind of try to curl it just like this, and it just lays a little bit better when it's placed down. Same with this one. Wanted to bring in just a little bit of gold over here to this space. I thrifted these not long ago and they are so ornate, so beautiful. I'm so glad I found them. I think they were $2.99 a piece and I think it was a great find. So I'm just gonna place them right here. Turn that around because I love drippy wax. And the last thing I'm going to use is my little tissue box. I love this. I've had it for a little while now. The detail of the lace, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but that's what it looks like. Gold lace to me is so beautiful. And of course, the little feet have a thing for those. I think they're so pretty. So I'm just gonna place that right here. And again, it could be easily moved out of Ronnie's way, and that's the main thing. I just want to make sure that Ronnie's comfortable when he's sitting in his chair. I want him to have his space for his book and his coffee, so if he needs to slide something out of the way or take something off, that's totally fine. He needs to be comfortable in his space more than I need decor to be out. The last area that we're going to decorate today is my coffee table. Now, if you didn't know, I just found this for $13 at Goodwill and I absolutely love it. Now, this is my style, and even with the little worn places on it, I just love it. I told Ronnie I don't know that I want to redo it. I just love the look of those worn places. I think they tell a story, and I certainly didn't want to lose out on any of the detail. If we sanded it down, I didn't want that to disappear. So I'm sticking with this for now. I don't know if that will change in the future, but I think it's so pretty, and so I truly enjoy decorating it, and that's exactly what we're gonna do now. Okay, the first thing we have is a stack of books opened up. I'm using this as a riser, and I thought it was so sweet because it opened up to 21, and 21st is the day both of the boys were born. So when things like that happen, I just love it. So yeah, that meant something to me. So I'm gonna put this right here. And being I am still loving the look of this plant in this glass bowl that I found at the thrift shop. I have it paired with a terracotta planter, a few rolled book pages, and again, a tassel. So I'm gonna twist that really quickly. And then I do have just one long piece of that ribbon that I love so much from Hobby Lobby. It's just so pretty to me, and I love the look, so I'm keeping that how I've had it for a while now. I did have it over by the window, but it's doing great here. I do notice it shifts over, searching for the sun, but it's grown quite a bit since I've had it, and I purchased this at our local grocery store. Next, I'm bringing in one of my stone risers and another cloche. This is much smaller. A few of my smaller books, which I love having underneath the cloche. Again, more of that Hobby Lobby ribbon with a small key. Sorry, that's turned around. Found this little cameo key in the jewelry aisle at Hobby Lobby, and I think it's so cute. I'm gonna place it right over here next to the books. Might twist that a little bit. Moving over to this side of the table, I have a couple more books to use as a riser, and I'm needing to hide the prices once again. So one side is going to go towards this planter, and then the other side will be bookmarked by a few more books. Right on top, I'm going to add in this beautiful vest. I think I found that at Home Goods or TJ Maxx, I can't remember which, for a very good price. Actually, let's see, $14.99, TJ Maxx. I found that they have quite a few between TJ Maxx and Home Goods. I'm not sure about Ross. I don't generally go there, but I'm sure they have them there as well. The last thing I'm bringing in are 2 gold candlesticks. These were thrifted as well. I love offsetting them just a little bit, having the smaller one in front. This needs to be addressed, but they are so pretty to me, and I think they go very well with the rest of the vignette. And we're going to go ahead and add in another jar of matches just because they're pretty. I forgot I wanted to bring in one little brown bunny. I think you probably remember these from last week. Was it last week? Yes, last week's video. I think they give off a very vintage look, so I love using these. These are from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. I'm just gonna place one right here just for that little hint of spring. And then I always have our coasters out, so I'm gonna actually put them over behind the planter just in case they're needed right back here. All right, friends, I'm going to take a break to give you a quick update on August. I want to start out by saying that he is a complete miracle and just a beautiful and precious gift from God. Now, the family did find out about halfway through the pregnancy that something was going on the medical side of August's life. And so specialists, I think, were brought in then, and the family was given some information. Of course, I'm sure there was a time where it was just absolutely heartbreaking to think of the future and the unknown, and him coming along and being born was such a gift from God. And then at 10 days old, he was able to go home and be with his family, which I don't think that they thought that day would come. So again, such a miracle and gift from God. I cannot imagine the joy that they have felt in being able to bring him home and being in a more intimate setting with him, making these memories and just being able to be with him. Now, when he got home, he was doing so well and not having to rely on any medical machines other than his feeding tube, and the doctors were just kind of amazed that he was doing so well. Now, he still is at risk of some things going on, and so they are consulting with a few more specialists, and we'll get an update then. But for now, he is home and on comfort care. And so we do need to continue to pray for him and his family. I know the Lord has already stepped in and been such a help, but I want to believe with all of you that he will continue to do miracles on their behalf. So please continue to pray with us. And of course, if I come across any more updates that I can share, I definitely will. Now, I know that his grandma kind of skimmed through the comments last week. So if you would like to leave her or the family any words in the comments down below, I think that would be such a treasure. I know sometimes words of comfort mean so much in times like these. So if you would like to leave anything for them, please go ahead and do so, because I'm sure she can skim through them and share them with her daughter and son-in-law. Thank you once again. Let's just continue on his behalf. As I sit here to edit this video, I could not help but think just how amazing and generous you all have been this last week. You have given of your thoughts, your time, and of your heart to a little boy and his precious family that none of us really know. You stepped in and became exactly what the Lord has asked of each of us. You mirrored the amazing generosity of our own Lord and Savior. Here we are in the midst of a season that we recognize his ultimate sacrifice, offering himself a deliberate act of love for our sins. Thank you. Thank you for lending yourselves not only to this precious family, but to our Lord and Savior. I pray that he richly bless you for your generosity, and I pray that you have the most beautiful Easter. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you from my heart. All right, friends, we are going to bring this video to a close, but I want to thank you for coming along with me today and for all the love and support that you offer me each and every week. It truly means so much. And of course, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for remembering little August and his family in prayer. I really, really do appreciate it on their behalf. Now, if you would like to leave them some words of encouragement or comfort down below, please go ahead and take over that comment section for them. I am sure his grandma will see them and then share that with her daughter and son-in-law. For now, I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your week. Remember to stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.